5,000-pound classes. So he's also pulling down in the 5, which means that he is able to pull in 3 weight classes just by adding or subtracting the weights. Talked to him in the pit areas. He thinks he's got a good shot here tonight. Mark Hare out of Springfield, Ohio. His family's in the farming business in Western Ohio. He'll be followed by John Walsh and Tad Will. He's ready to lead the line. The track is 234 feet long. He'd like to have a full pull. Here we go. Mark Hare. And he's going to stop around the 150-foot mark. Now, this will be a difficult decision for the track judges to make because they've got some tractors in here tonight with 2 Aries and 2 Rodex and some real high-powered machines. However, the Allison in the 5,000-pound class is very competitive as some of those alcohol burns off the engine out there.
And so we will have to wait for an official decision by track officials about the setting of the sled. And it looks like Mark Hare is motioning that he's going to drop down in the order. Here's the replay. A little bit heavy on the front end. Didn't get the front end off of the track.
Well, John, they won't have a lot of weight to play with. They're in the 5,000-pound class. This tractor weighing no more than 5,200 pounds, which is the official weight, although we refer to it sometimes as the 5,000-pound class. And you'll notice there's no weight out in the front, and there's probably no weight out on the back because the tractor is built so close to the tolerances of the weight class.
And the pull comes in at 157, and somebody's standing in the way of my monitor up there. I can't see. There we go, 157, 9.6 inches, and we'll second guess a little bit that he may turn that one down and come back later. Mark Hare.
Well, also, as we've seen in all of the classes so far, they want to make a determination whether to continue in the class or change the sled, and I believe they want to look at least one more tractor before the track judges make that note.
And Dave Walsh is going to get hooked up from Austin, Wisconsin, as we continue to get things sorted out here in the lightweight modifieds.
Well, Dave and his brother John share the driving duties. We saw it earlier in the show with 3 of these Aries in. They've removed the back motor, and he will run with 2 to make weight for this 5,000-pound class. So these guys have got a great shot to take it all the way. Dave Walsh out of Austin, Wisconsin. Calls it the Irish Challenger, sponsored by Farmland Insurance.
And Dave comes up with a pull that's going to be near 200 feet. Nice straight run down the track, and we'll see it on replay. I see him signaling there that he's probably going to drop 6 places. He was holding up 6 fingers. And the officials are checking with him now. You can see a little bit of lift on the front end of the tractor, not too much. And he drifts to the left of the track just a bit at the end of the run. It's going to come around 200 feet. And here's the distance, 198, 4.6.
And John, that was the restart. Dave Walsh was the first official puller on the restart. So they reset the sled after Mark Hare made his original run. So that'll now be, well, he's going to drop 6 positions, we understand, so we'll be seeing him come back a little bit later. So as of yet, we still don't have an official distance.
Here comes another Allison engine, and mounted atop that machine is Tad Will from Central City, Pennsylvania.
This is an Allison aircraft engine, and for those that might have missed some of the earlier programs, it's built back in World War II. 1,710 cubic inches, just a lot of raw horsepower there. It's a big V12, similar to a Packard or a Merlin engine or a Jaguar engine. Very dependable motor. A lot of these pullers have used these engines 5 and 6 years in their tractors. Here we go, Tad Will, one of the toughest tractors in the fly. Heavy on the nose. Great run for Tad Will. He'll be happy. Still a little heavy on the nose, but anytime you can get that far down the track, you'll take it every time you pull.
And that's probably the best performance we've seen by a single Allison engine in this competition.
Well, Tad and his family, Mom and Dad are in the coal business in Central City, Pennsylvania.
The Tinker Toy 2, here it is on replay, and it will be a nice straight run, not much right to left motion.
Now, John, as we indicated before, he doesn't have a lot of weight to play with, so they have to pretty much take the tractor as it is on the balance. And he comes up with 222, 5.3 as he makes his way down the track. And of course, that's going to be now our first official distance and the distance that the rest of the pullers are going to be shooting for.
Next puller to hook up will be Todd Stone, the son of Gardner Stone, who we have seen in action in previous sessions.
Well, we've got a break in the action while he's backing up to hook on, John. We want to salute the fine sponsors here at Super Pull 13, including American Cyanamid and their products Counter, also Case International, Tractor Company, Kendall Oil Company, and Red Man Chewing Tobacco.
Todd Stone now from Middlebury, Vermont, getting set. He has a single Allison engine, and he's got the chain pulled tight. The green light is on. The green flag is up by the starter, and he's set to go.
They call it the General. You see all the stars on the fenders, and he's got power. Look at this. He comes up on the back two tires, really digging away.
And he carried the front end for a long way, got it up higher than what we've seen so far.
And John, just as we saw this afternoon in the 7,000-pound modified, look at the amount of dirt that is in front of the pan on the weight transfer machine. They are really pulling a lot of dirt, which means they've not only got to battle the sled, but they've got to battle all the dirt that's piling up in front of the buckboard on the sled. So they're pulling a lot of weight and pulling a lot of dirt, and they're digging up the track out there pretty good.
A lot of alcohol burning off on that engine. We can feel the heat from where we are.
Here it is. It's an injected motor, and it has 2 turbochargers on the tractor, so he can make plenty of power. In fact, many of the pullers around the country think that Gardner Stone can make as much power out of an Allison as anybody. But he comes up short, his son Todd Stone, at 198.10.2, and it'll put him in second place.
Ronnie Reed from Longford, Kansas is getting backed up to the sled and ready to go.
And just like Dave Walsh, he'll be pulling in 3 classes. He's already pulled in the 9 and the 7. Here he goes in the 5. Here's probably the favorite in the class since he was the 83, 84, and 85 Grand National Pulling Circuit champion. Ronnie Reed has pretty much completely dominated the 5 modified the last 3 years. It was just about 10 years ago that he ran only 1 motor in tractor pulling, and now he runs 3. But for the 5, to make weight, he has to remove that back engine, that 3rd engine. He's got these 2 engines hooked crankshaft to crankshaft. He'll make about 3,000 horsepower. Here he goes, Ronnie Reed and Evans. Oh boy, a bull pull for Reed, and that sets the stage for some of the other hot dogs in the remainder of the class to try to catch him.
Ronnie Reed didn't waste any time. He got right on it early. A lot of tire speed and a lot of horsepower early in the run, and there was never any doubt. He never lost that power all the way down the track. So he's trying to make a big day of it as he finished in second in the 7,000 modifieds in session 3. Here it is on replay.
Well, a perfect run because he's made so many of them, John. This is why he is the champion in the class. He moved a little bit to the right, but he's got an excellent set of brakes on there. He built this chassis entirely by himself, and he does a lot of the work on these Aries motors for not only himself, but for a lot of other pullers, so he really knows how to get the maximum amount of horsepower. Our first full pull, and of course now it'll be up to Engler and Hutcherson and Austin and Garrett and some of these other pullers to try to catch and tie him.
Tim Engler had a full pull and another full pull in the pull-off in session 3 in the 7,000 modifieds, and now we'll see what he does in the 5,000.
This may be a little tougher because he's on more equal ground with Ronnie Reed and Bruce Hutcherson because they'll all be running 2 engines. It's just a matter of can they get the maximum amount of power out of them and do the best job of driving. But this guy's a real pro and one of the up-and-coming stars on the NTPA circuit.
And his style seems to be like Ronnie Reed. He's going to get on it early.
Has a plastic molding injection business in southwestern Indiana, a little town called Princeton, beautiful town. And Tim Engler knows how to pull tractors. The two 557 Aries motors will make about 4,000 horsepower. He's on it. Look at this. Look at him go. And he takes it out the gate. I believe maybe a little faster than Ronnie Reed did. He really got that front end up in the air, although he came to a stop a little quicker. Ron Hickson, the sled operator with the decision maker, wants to make sure that they don't go too far out the tunnel. Here we go on the replay. Here again is just about like Ronnie Reed, except he did a little bit more of a wheelie. There, he really picks up that front end, makes one more touchdown. And so much horsepower, so much wheel speed.
So it's a full pull with power to spare for Tim Engler. And now we have two pullers who will move into a pull-off. Ronnie Reed, Tim Engler, but we have 5 more competitors coming. After turning down a test pull of 157 feet, Mark Hare is getting hooked up again. He's from Springfield, Ohio.
One of the big differences of the Allisons against the V8s, John, is that they're only running these at about 5,000 RPMs maximum, where the V8s will crank them anywhere from 8. Sometimes they'll even hit 10,000 RPMs, which means they can just steer in that rear end of those big tires that much better. But the Allison's a very dependable motor. Hey, that's not bad at all. A beautiful run for Mark Hare. As we said, every time we see him pull, he always makes good straight pulls. And he's going to come up about 50 feet short, but that's a truly remarkable run.
On the replay, I think we'll see there goes the front end, got into the air this time. On his first run, he didn't get hardly any lift at all, but this time he did get it up into the air a little bit, and he came through with a little better performance. 196 feet, 196, 8.8 for Mark Hare.
Well, John, we're not exactly sure who's doing the driving because we've got the masked marauder down there in the driver's seat. We had been informed that John was going to do the driving. Then we were told that Dave. So we'll wait to see who's driving after the run. The Walsh brothers out of Wisconsin. Wayne Garrett, the Irish challenger. Hey, look at him go. The frame was really twisting on that pull, and John, they've got to be at least, they're close, less than 2 feet out there of making a full pull.
So whichever one of the brothers it is, it was a good pull, a good strong pull. Here it is on the replay. You can see that frame twist, a lot of pressure and a lot of torque on that frame. That left side wheel comes up a little bit higher than the right side.
Well, it looks like that frame just wants to twist in two and flip right over. But there's a lot of flex built into these frames. And John, oh, so close out of a possible 234 feet for a full pull. They come up short at 232, 1.3.
And now from Patriot, Indiana, Bruce Hutcherson, a new name for Indy number 13.
Well, certainly a new name this year, although he's been here many, many years. In fact, if we look over the results in the most win category, Bruce Hutcherson is 5th on the all-time record. He has won here 4 times. The Banner brothers have won 7, Hart has 5, Danny Dean 5, and Dennis Brabeck and Bruce Hutcherson have won 4 times. He has a brand new sponsor as of last year, the folks at Carhartt, and this is what they call the Carhartt Macon Bacon Special. And he'll really crank the tires. Now, he's running a Rodeck aluminum block motor, which is similar to the Aries, about 557 cubic inches. He lives right down on the Ohio River, the north side in Indiana. He farms about 4,000 acres. Here we go. Hutcherson from Patriot, Indiana. He's a little, yeah, he's starting to lift now, starting to lift. He makes it now a 3-way tie, but he might have done some damage to that front motor. We saw smoke coming out of that left front bank.
And so the Macon Bacon Special was making tracks on that one. right down the middle of the track. A good strong run all the way. Not a lot of lift on the front end, but able to pull it out the gate. Here it is on the replay. Just a little bit of a drift to the left, not too much, not much lift on the front end, but he kept the power going and pulled it out all the way through.
Well, here's a tractor that can run in the 5, 7, 9, and 12, but he's only pulling a Super Bowl 13 in the 5 and 12, which he qualified in, and we'll see him back in the 5th and final show with 5 of these Rodeck engines.
And so, Ronnie Reed, Tim Engler, and Bruce Hutcherson await the pull-off.
Is that why he turned it this way? Yeah, looks good.
We've received word that the driver for the Walsh team a few moments ago was Dave Walsh, and now Rick Austin is backing in and getting hooked up. He's from Broadhead, Wisconsin.
It's easy to tell if that's Rick because he doesn't have that full mask on like a lot of the helmets provide for some of the other drivers. From Broadhead, Wisconsin, with Chevrolet, the Dirt Flirt.
Something certainly has gone wrong there. He seemed to hesitate at the beginning and never really did get into the pole.
He either lost the motor, I'm trying to see if the engine is running, or he might have had it on the wrong gear and it was a lot to pull. Rick Austin has pulled 5 and 7,000 pound modified classes for quite a few years now. His Chevrolet's always run good. You can always count on him to make excellent pulls. As we look at the replay, everything seems to be running okay until about right here, and it just slows down. And 145, 2.3 is a long way from being down to that full pull mark of 234 feet.
Tough break for Rick Austin. Wayne Garrett will be the last puller before the pull-off, and he has hopes of joining that pull-off.
We've seen a lot of great names of tractors, and there you get an excellent shot from our great camera work here at trackside. Triple Chaos, because he does run 3 engines in the 7 and 9 later on, but he's only running 2 here in the 5 because all of these drivers have to make weight, and they just can't make weight with a 3rd engine. From West Alexandria, Ohio, 427 Chevy, Wayne Garrett.
Once again, as we saw with Rick Austin on the previous run, he never really built up any speed. He started very slowly and never really did. He didn't get the front end up. Not a whole lot of power there. I don't know if something was wrong or not.
So we go to the pull-off, right, John?
A disappointing run for Wayne Garrett. We'll get the distance for you as soon as it comes off of the laser. Here it is, 142 and 7 inches. 142 and 7. Here it is on the replay. Just never did build up any tire speed and get it going down the track. Stayed right in the middle. No problem there. But a long way off from qualifying for that pull-off. So Wayne Garrett from West Alexandria, Ohio, is going to be finished for this evening. And we're set for a pull-off. Ronnie Reed, Tim Engler, and Bruce Hutcherson will be coming back. We're set to begin the pull-off. Ronnie Reed is getting hooked up from Longford, Kansas, going for another championship.
John, this is going to be just a tremendous battle between the 3 top modifieds in this class, Reed, Engler, and Hutcherson. And Engler and Reed running the same motors, identical. They each, of course, got 2. Here we go. In the pull-off, they break down the sled, run their way. He is shaking the rafters here tonight, John. He didn't waste any time getting down the track.
No, he came at it for all he was worth. We'll see on the replay that he did get to the left side of the track, and at the end of the run pulled it back into the center. And as he came to the left and had to hit the brake, you could tell he lost a little bit of momentum, but still got a lot of footage even after he hit the brake. There he's killed the engine. Now we see it on replay. His front end's up in the air as he drifts towards the left side of the track, and he's hitting that right brake to pull it back in a little bit. Bouncing just a touch. Here's the distance. Ronnie Reed comes in with a 213 3.5, and he's set a tough pace for Tim Engler and Bruce Hutcherson to meet.
Well, that is an awfully good distance, but Engler, the way he ran this afternoon in the 7, he could be right there at the end. Engler up next.
Even the name of Tim Engler's tractor indicates that he likes a challenge. Mission impossible.
John, this is what it's all about. Tractor for tractor, driver versus driver, motor versus motor, horsepower. Who can put the best combination on the track? Engler has been running awfully good this last year. He built a brand new tractor at 84, which was a marvelous machine, a 4 Aries. He wasn't satisfied, so he built another new one for 86. This is a brand new tractor as of a month ago. So I'm in San Antonio and Biloxi, Mississippi. And boy, the way he ran this afternoon, Ronnie Reed should be worried right now. Ronnie Reed isn't worried anymore.
No, Ronnie Reed has nothing to worry about now. He knows he doesn't lead this class.
The only thing he can be worried about right now is if he'll stay in second place. But Tim Engler, another smile on his face because he knows he's had power to spare today.
And as they say at the Indianapolis 500, this man and this team has it hooked up. They've got it together right now.
Oh, boy. Simply marvelous. This is what pulling is all about. And they both have excellent machinery.
Not quite a full pull. 233.74. 233.74. Tim Engler just laid down a run of 233.7.4, and now Bruce Hutcherson has to go after it.
Well, Ronnie Reed still has to be worried about second place at this point at 213 feet, 3.5 inches, because Hutcherson, who hasn't been quite in championship form the last couple of months, really would like to have things start coming around his way. We'll also watch Bruce, of course, in our final show in the 12 Open with 5 of these engines in there. Here we go, the Carhartt, make it special. And I believe Hutcherson has taken over second place. An excellent run, but more smoke coming out of that left bank on the front motor.
Just before he got to the 200-foot mark, the smoke began pouring out.
Well, he may have an oil problem there. We've seen that in the last couple of weeks for Bruce, and he says it's nothing to worry about, just a little too much oil.
And he's pulling away, and we'll see it on replay here, and you'll see that smoke come out from the left side of the tractor.
Didn't quite lift the way that Bruce would like to have it. And you got to remember, they've got those engines right out there in the front, so they don't have a lot of weight to play with.
And look at that, 212, 3.0. And so Ronnie Reed hangs on to second place just by a foot.
By a foot. I would have thought he took over second place, but Hutcherson finishes in third, Reed in second, and Tim Engler makes it 2 wins in a match.